Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That is my cohort and commentary, Ashton, and this is our Friday night Smackdown review. And can you see it? Can you sense it? Can you taste it? The electricity is crackling in the air because we are barreling towards that one pay-per-view that, if you believe what the commentators say, can change the trajectory of careers. Money in the Bank. And I love how purposeful this Smackdown felt. From the main event scene with Edge and Roman Reigns to the men's ladder match, and maybe, just maybe, because I've learned from my mistakes with WWE, we have to still remember this is WWE. They could be telling a fantastic story with the women's Money in the Bank that remains to be seen. But I gotta be honest, on my side of things, this is one of my favorite episodes of SmackDown in months. And this is also coming from the vantage point that it is the best program that WWE airs presently, Raw coming in dead last, and obviously that leaves NXT smack dab in the middle. I really enjoyed, I'd say, if not the whole show, at least like 90 to 95% of it. I thought this was fantastic. So, Ashton, how'd you feel about it, man?
I am in complete agreement with you, and I've got kind of two comments. The first comment being there was not a single segment tonight that felt wasted. And second of all, Abel pointed out in chat, no tribal chief in this episode. No Roman Reigns on the entire episode. Not that we were completely without the thought of Roman Reigns, because there was one storyline that was really prominently bringing up and focused on Roman Reigns that literally ran from segment 1 to segment 8, the final segment of the night. And that was Edge and Jimmy Uso's whole thing that they had going on. And that was fucking great. So Roman Reigns might have been absent from the show, but his presence was felt, and his presence was still one of the best things on the show. But even without what I would argue is the best thing going in WWE right now, this episode of SmackDown was still excellent, which to me just means that they've got no excuses for not having every show be at least this good, because that in other episodes, they'd have the crutch, the writing crutch that is the presence of Roman Reigns to be able to lean on and still find a way to write an even better show around that. It seems like it would be so easy knowing how great this episode was tonight.
I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself, friend. So, you know what? I've got a lot of positive to say, but let's save that for the actual review. Let's get whatever negatives we have in the first segment, heat of the night. And I only have one nitpick. Just one, and I do want to stress a nitpick because I understand why they're doing it. I just wish we lived in kind of a different wrestling philosophy, so to speak. I don't like that we're running Nakamura and Corbin back for the Money in the Bank as like the final men's qualifier. Now, let me say something about this. I love that SmackDown isn't on Raw's bullshit where it's like, hey, all you guys that lost, get back in here. We're going to run it back. We're going to give you another shot at it. However, kayfabe-wise, I feel like the match that would have been so much better than this and intriguing, because I feel like it would have been a first-time matchup, and if not first time, I can't remember the last time we saw it, would have been Otis versus Nakamura, because both those guys, respectively, have been on such a goddamn roll that those two mid-card guys vying for a spot like that, I think it would be intriguing to people. Corbin, they're making a story about how he's spiraling, so one, it's obvious, and two, again, from a kayfabe position, what the hell has he done to earn an opportunity? Now, again, you could make the argument, well, he is a former Money in the Bank winner. So is Otis. And unlike Corbin, Otis has actually been winning lately, which is why he was the first name I thought of. So that is my only nitpick. I get why they're doing it, because the reason why you wouldn't do Nakamura Otis is because you want to protect both acts, because both acts are hot. I fully expect Nakamura to win regardless, and I'm trying to be bigger picture here, which means the SmackDown side of the field, dude, is fucking elite. Because you get Nakamura in there, and then you're guaranteed to either get Cesaro or Seth next week.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, dude. So that's the only nitpick I had. I didn't want to dwell on it. I'm just me. You know how I am. I'm very anal about this kind of shit. What about you, though, man? Do you have any nitpicks or even football needs tonight?
before we get into anything I might have to say, I appreciate Foster's creativity saying Nakamura versus Seth and Corbin versus Cesaro would have been better than what we got just because it would have avoided repetitiveness. But the problem is, what if their intention is for Nakamura and Seth both to be in the match? Then you can't have them go against each other with one of them losing. So I think that's probably why they did that. So,
interesting. So just to clarify, you actually feel like Seth is going to beat Cesaro next week?
Yes.
I disagree, but you know what? We'll get to that when we get to the review. Dude, I'm so psyched to actually do this review.
You know what? Remind me, who won their match at the last pay-per-view?
Hell in a Cell, Seth won that match.
Okay, so maybe Cesaro will get a win back. I don't know. I'm just saying, though, I'm wondering if the reason that they didn't do that was because they do want Nakamura and Seth both to be in it. Or maybe they want Corbin and Cesaro to be in it. Hell if I know.
I mean, here's my thing, and this is the only comment I'm going to make about that, because, again, I'm just really excited to get to the actual review, because I have a lot of good stuff to say, and I want to save it for the appropriate segment. Cesaro Rollins, what I meant to say, makes sense to me, because even though Cesaro has beaten Seth twice, technically, and I definitely count the win at WrestleMania as a legitimate win, because it's classic heel 101 bullshit excuses, the SmackDown win is tainted because Jimmy Uso super kicked Seth, which allowed Cesaro to get the neutralizer. So when you look at straight wrestling matches, they're one apiece. So I look at this qualifier as like the rubber match, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm far more understanding of that than Nakamura Corbin. But I personally think that Cesaro is winning next week, which if he does, dude, preview and predictions is going to be a nightmare for me, because we're going to get to that men's match, and you're going to be like, so, John, what do you think? Can you go first? Sure. Ashton wraps it up in 3 minutes with facts and logic. John, Ricochet. So it's going to be a fucking nightmare. But yeah, man, I've got a lot to say. So do you have anything else you want to say as far as the first segment goes?
Dude, here's the thing. I'm only making a big deal out of this because I feel like it's been so long since I've actually genuinely been able to say this. I have no heat to the night tonight at all.
Excellent. That is fucking wonderful. And again, my nitpick really is more on me than on WWE, because again, I even get their reasoning to a point. So yeah, you and I both just got nothing but good vibes. So let's start spreading them. Let's get into our Friday night SmackDown review. And let me pull up my my notes here. And we begin with an Edge promo. And I just need to stress this again. I really think my problem the whole time was that they used the Royal Rumble as a mechanism to get Edge his title match. I realize now, watching this promo and everything Edge did tonight, I never had a problem with him being a world title contender. I fully expected it. You don't do the kind of return that they did with Edge and the story and everything, and not at the very least tease that like Cinderella, Rocky Balboa type title run.
Yeah, dude, I totally get that, because the problem really is that now when you look at the history of the Royal Rumble, you're always going to see Edge's name on the same list as Benoit. And who else won it from one? Michaels. So now you're always going to see Edge's name, and he did it at like, what, 44 years old or whatever, on that list. That's supposed to be like the special exclusive list. And what year did Michaels do it? That was in the 90s, wasn't it?
It was in the 90s, I believe. So possibly late 90s, like but yeah.
Once every, like 15 years maybe? That this happens, and they used it on Edge. That's the problem.
Yeah. But Edge in and of himself as a performer is not the problem. Dude, you know, it's so funny. I still ultimately believe that wrestling, especially if wrestling is to have a future, is obviously a young person's game. But these fucking 40-plus-year-olds fucking flexing right now, because Edge just grabs a microphone. He cuts a great promo, retelling the story.
Promo of the year candidate for me.
Yeah, actually, man, with you saying that, why don't you go first? Why don't you talk about everything you liked about this promo before I go off?
No, I'm just saying, I loved this promo. Literally, like, I was even in the Discord talking about how great this promo was. I love a motivated Edge. And, like, it's not like an Orton where it's hard to motivate Edge and that you have to, like, really catch him on a good day for him to be motivated like it is with Orton. But, like, when Edge really finds that fire and you can really tell that he's starting to dig his teeth into the content that he's being given to work with, he is so untouchable. Like, to me, the last decade, there are only 3 people that I would put in, like, the S tier of mic workers, and that's Punk, Bryan, Edge. That's it. Roman is high A tier, borderline S right now, but he hasn't been doing it long enough for me to solidify him in the S tier. Cena, he had some promos that I just downright fucking hated. No one else is on that level right now. Punk was there for a while, and then he started to feel repetitive and kind of what's the word? John, what's a bad thing about Glee? It's so pretentious. That's the word. Punk got pretentious before he retired. Brian just fucking S tier pretty much the entire latter half of his career. Just incredible. Edge is S tier on the mic right now. And we haven't, again, like, it's so iconic to me that they stuck Brian and Edge in a program with Roman when they're both such absolute fire on the mic. And like I said, Roman is damn close to S tier right now himself. And like, that WrestleMania program was so good, and now Brian's not involved anymore, but Edge seems to have even stepped his game up from where he was. Like, I feel like his promos are actually getting better, because this first promo, like, dude, he took up the first 10 minutes of this show just monologuing, and it was incredible. I loved it. How often can we say that?
Not that often, friend, and I'll tell you, as you and I that have watched some stuff from Edge's filmography, if you will, particularly Haven, that Sci-Fi used to air, I think that time acting genuinely helped him out. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I feel like he took stuff from that world, he brought it into the wrestling world, and here's the thing, this is coming from a guy, I've always been a fan of Edge's promos ever since he got out of, like the white meat babyface role that he was in for like the late 90s, early 2000s. I've even watched some Ruthless Aggression Smackdown, and you hear a babyface Edge cut a promo, well, at least that babyface Edge, and dude, I always tell people, I think an underrated period in his promo career was right when you could tell they were building him up as a main eventer in 2005, and he would come out, and he would be borderline deranged, because they were finally experimenting like with him turning heel. And, like, every time he'd get close to a world title, his first one, and it'd be snatched from him, he would make the excuses. And he kind of referenced that tonight. He said 2006 Edge would have, and I was thinking 2005 Edge, because some of my favorite promos from him were just him talking about, I was this close to winning the Royal Rumble, I was the final three, or I was this close to winning this world title match, and then this happened. But his voice and his intensity, it's like, dude, take a fucking Xanax or something. Holy fuck. But I love how this man talks. Like, honestly, you talk about, like, promo classes in the wrestling industry. I know Full Sail's got a promo class. Somebody better be studying Edge's tapes. Because, like, this dude, there's just something, the word I would use for him is magnetic. Like, he talks, I pay attention.
Yeah.
And so he reconstructs this whole WrestleMania story, and he really talks about, like, he doesn't say it like this, but it's almost like, the universe just aligned for him to have this moment, because it's a decade to the day, that he retired. And Jesus, I think I got a dry mouth all of a sudden.
I also almost got kind of a bit of a vibe of, like, him being bitter that he booked to win, and he was kind of, like, taking a shot at Vince and the writing team for not giving him that moment.
Yeah, and that's understandable. I mean, we've had guys come back before on those deals. I think even Batista would say in interviews after his last, like, full-time run, I was promised things by the company and they didn't deliver.
Yeah.
And, you definitely get that vibe from Edge. But I love, though, because, like, see, this is how he's so masterful, because you could tell on the road to WrestleMania, he was playing the tweener, because he was really, really angry at Bryan, but he wasn't cutting any slack for Roman. So it's like, when Edge comes back, I think you and I both even thought for a moment it might be, take out Bryan or whatever, and then you do Edge Bryan, which is still a one-on-one matchup I'd be very interested in seeing with two promo maestros. But now, obviously, he's doing the program with Roman, and I feel like he slides so easily back into that babyface gear. And I love it, too. I feel like maybe we're seeing a changing of the guard here. I thought KO was an anomaly. Maybe it's becoming more normal that babyfaces just aren't changing their tune. Like, he doesn't change everything he said about Bryan. He stands by it. In fact, he doubles down. He says, I could complain about it, and I would be justified in doing so. And honestly, I love it. I love it. Like, don't backtrack on it. You said all this for months, and internet culture, we would run that shit back. We would be like, oh, TWitWoW's got receipts. But Edge is like, oh, no need, because I never took them out of my damn pocket. And I love that. I love that he's honest about it. Yeah, I still have sour grapes about it, but here's the thing. Toss those out, and I can make wine with some fresh ones. And that wine is, I got my one-on-one matchup with fucking Roman at Money in the Bank. And then he goes to the pictures where he talks about, I had you in that crossface, and you know, especially with like the pipe in his mouth, or the piece of the chair, I think it was, like in his mouth, and he has the camera zoom in on Roman's eyes, and he says, you can deny it all you want, but I've got your number, and I'm going to be the next Universal Champion.
That's the look of a man who knows that he is not safe anymore.
Dude, I'm just going to say generally, because it's kind of alluding to a future segment we'll talk about, fucking Canadians ran shop tonight on SmackDown. Fucking Canadians are the MVPs, because between fucking Edge and then Sammy and Kevin, man, like, goddamn.
They forgot that this was TV. They went and thought this was a goddamn pay-per-view.
Dude, they really did, and I'm so fucking jazzed up because of it. Holy shit. Is this what really good wrestling that isn't Stardom feels like? Man, I missed it. God damn. But yeah, Edge speaks with such a conviction and a passion and an intensity that it's like, this is why. Look, I kind of, roll my eyes a bit playfully. I don't take it super serial when people are like, oh, you've got to respect people in this sport, because when I hear Mike work like this, it's like sport. It couldn't be any more contrary to what wrestling is. It is, to me, first and foremost, an art form, and Edge has perfected his art form. That's the highest compliment I can give the man. He's perfected his fucking art form, because he took the bumps in the fucking Attitude Era with the TLC matches and this and that. He's had the great hellacious matches, but he's perfected it because he can also talk about it, and talk about it in such a captivating fucking way. Like, God damn, man. Well, I'm ready for this match. I really am. I think him and Roman are going to kill it. I really do. And I love this. And you already said, I mean, you gave your review in just a few words. Promo of the year contender. So, perfect. After this, we get Jimmy Uso and Paul Heyman. I fucking love Paul Heyman, man. He barely said anything all fucking night. He's just kind of looking at Jimmy. He's letting Jimmy just vent and unload, and Heyman's just looking at him like, okay, and I'm almost like wondering, like, is Roman gonna show up, because we hadn't seen him yet, and yeah, Heyman's just letting Jimmy just unload, and Jimmy's just more or less like, I'm gonna handle Edge. Edge doesn't talk about the family like that. I got this, Uso. I'm gonna handle this, and he just kind of walks out. That's kind of laying the groundwork for, Jimmy really wants to handle this tonight. So how did you feel about Jimmy pumping his chest out and feeling like he's main event Jimmy Uso?
I mean, given what happened later on in the night, it kind of didn't work out too well for the guy. He kind of got it blown up in his face. I'm
just going to say right now, while it's on my mind, the tentativeness that emanated from every vocal cord of yours just now is a mood. Because, like, I am listening to Jimmy talk his shit, I'm like...
He's so confident. He's just like, Jay did it. Why wouldn't I be able to do it? This is going to be easy. Main event Jimmy Uso, baby. And then Edge is like, welcome to the main event, kid. And Jimmy was like, I don't want it.
Yeah. Yeah. And here I am thinking, like, you're going to need a lot more gaslighting if you hope to catch up to main event Jey Uso. Because, like, they really broke him down just to build him back up. So... after that, and God, what a dysfunctional family, we get Nakamura and Big E versus Apollo and Corbin. I'm going to be on, and see, now I get it. Now I get why it didn't happen. I told Ashton, like, watch, Nakamura is going to pin Cruz, and they're going to do Nakamura and Cruz for Money in the Bank, which I genuinely thought would have been a great matchup for both guys, especially because, like, Apollo's whole thing, right, is I come from a Nigerian royalty, and now we've got the whole Kinsuke era that we're in. So, perfect collision. WWE said, well, yeah, nah. Because instead, we're just going to have Big E pin Corbin when Corbin gets distracted about his car getting repoed. So
his Mercedes. Oh, the $250,000 SUV.
No, my ostentatious displays of wealth. Yeah, your life's fucking falling apart, fucking Caillou ass. Still curious where it goes. I stand by my sentiments last week, but I will never not take a chance to take a pot shot at that guy. And Ashton, of course, because I read everything in your voice now, because I've been around you that long, and you're just like, bruh, Corbin's hairline. I'm like, yeah, it's...
I've literally never seen a hairline more terrified of its own person's face.
You want to just move on after that? What else do I even say to that? Like...
Dude, Corbin, how does your hairline end up in the same place that you lose your glasses?
I don't know. I don't know. When you put it that way, now I'm scared. Cause like, wow, biology did a number on you, bruh.
It really did. I'm so sorry, Corbin.
Completely like irrelevant question to the hairline. Because God knows he's been suffering really ever since birth. Was I the only one that half expected Corbin just because he's on the whole down on his luck thing? And apparently they trademarked the phrase Happy Corbin, which we'll have to see where they go with that. Was I the only one that half expected him to eat a Nigerian nail because Apollo was going to be kind of apoplectic at him for eating the pin?
No.
I don't know.
I can't say I expected that. So you're the only person in this conversation, but I'm sure you're not the only person overall.
Maybe not. That makes me feel slightly less alone. Slightly. But yeah.
I mean, you're totally
rough.
alone.
Yeah. Thanks.
Just wanted to make sure that got clear there.
Yeah, that you're learning. Very proud of you. All right. So, pretty by the numbers tag match. Biggie gets the win. Dude, I am loving the SmackDown side of the Money in the Bank field because we got to remember Biggie qualified last week. Like, oh my God, dude. It is so fucking stacked. Dude, let me tell you, if this was a SmackDown exclusive ladder match, you could not get me to pick a winner because I'm loving the men that they've picked for this thing. I'm going to hand the ball to you on this one because I already know how I feel. Very curious how you feel about this. Bianca and Bayley's face-off.
Yeah.
How are we feeling about that?
Well, first of all, again, Bayley, amazing promo. Really, really great promo before Bianca came out. And then when Bianca did come out, she did great as well. I am so excited for the fucking I Quit match. Like, holy shit, that's...
Yes.
I feel like the last time we've had an I Quit match between women in WWE was like Sasha Charlotte Raw 2015, something like that.
Yeah. Because wasn't that like Roadblock or whatever? Yeah.
I don't remember. It was a long time. It was at least 5 or 6 years ago, for sure. And even then, I feel like that wasn't nearly as good as it should have been. So I'm hoping that this, because it is who it is, I'm hoping that it lives up to my, expectations for it. Thing that I didn't like, though, that how worried is Bayley being all braggadocious and being like, if I ever said the words I quit, I'd quit SmackDown altogether. Matter of fact, I'd quit WWE. Actually, no, I'd quit competing in the ring altogether. Please tell me Bayley isn't anywhere actually close to retiring. What the fuck?
Yeah, see, what's interesting is I didn't necessarily panic about that line. I arched an eyebrow for sure. I'm like, oh, what? And I know this is probably a conversation more appropriate for premium predictions, but I'm so fucking jazzed up. I'm like, fuck the rules today. I really feel like this match is going to be so significant for the Bayley character. Because I'm just going to be straight up with y'all. Like, again, I'm expecting Bianca to win. I really don't even feel like that's ruining premium predictions that bad because I think the predictions you guys are really like chomping at the bit for are the ladder matches, and I will be sure to stay mum about that. I think everybody and their mom is picking fucking Bianca to win this because an I Quit match, especially for a heel the way that Bayley's been, it's made. It's made for heels like Bayley to say, I quit. What happens in the aftermath is going to be very interesting because I've been expecting Bayley to go back to being a babyface for a while now. Like, I feel like we're seeing the swan song of this heel gimmick, and I'm almost thinking when she says I quit, it's going to kind of send Bayley into an existential tailspin, except unlike Corbin, she's going to be able to really demonstrate it, like, masterfully. And I think after this, she's going to hit rock bottom, and she's going to climb her way out by just being a babyface again. Not necessarily the hugger again, because I think Bayley's all about evolution. She doesn't want to get stagnant. But she will embrace the people again. So I'm fucking excited about this. And, honestly, I got to give credit to these women. Because I really didn't think I wanted to see them wrestle again after Hell in a Cell. I think I even went on a whole tirade about it. Like, oh, how do you run it back when you do a gimmick match like this? And, like, how are you going to keep it fresh and interesting? They found a way. They found a fucking way because I'm definitely interested in this. I love that Bianca, like, laughs at Bayley at the very end. And Bayley's just like, what's so funny? And Bianca's like, oh, it's just because I didn't think I could hear you say one more word. And now I realize I can't wait to hear you say, I quit. Love it. And she just keeps laughing. These women have done such great work with each other. They should both be immensely proud. And
yeah, that's the thing.
SmackDown...
I've seen a lot of people complaining that this feud is still going, but like, and while I do agree that Bayley doesn't necessarily deserve to keep getting shots like this, I love that this was more about Bianca wanting to shut Bayley up, and that we're getting the match at all. Because like that's the thing. It's like, does Bayley deserve another shot? No. But do I want to see them continue to feud because of how great their matches have been? Yes. And also, this is more about the Bianca character than the Bayley character. This is more about the champion wanting to shut a specific challenger the fuck down and be like, that's it. It's over for you. You were never on my level in the first place. Get out. Go to the back of the line. You're done with me.
Exactly.
So all those people that are sick and tired of this feud, so is Bianca, and that's why she wanted this match to put an end to it.
Well said. So yeah, after this, we get Jimmy Uso and Paul Heyman backstage again. Jimmy Uso more or less confirming like, hey, I'm calling out Edge tonight. Yeah, you do that. Everybody making great choices. Then after that, I'm going to hand it to you again because I like giving you the ball first on the highlights, the big highlights in my mind of this show. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, last man standing.
Good Lord.
How are we feeling?
My God.
How are we feeling?
Like I said, these boys, they forgot that this was a TV show, man. They went out there and they went at it like it was a goddamn pay-per-view. They've got tables set out all over the place. Fucking Sammy sent Kevin off the top rope through 2 tables that Kevin had set up on the outside of the ring. He still makes it up to his feet by 10 because you can't keep Kevin down. This man will not die. He just keeps on fighting. And it was a really fun match. And as we all predicted, unfortunately, because we all want Sammy to be the next Mr. Money in the Bank, but Kevin ends up picking up the win after powerbombing Sammy through the announcer's table and then a regular table and then onto the apron, like the apron bomb that he used to do in NXT. And really, the attitude that he had while doing this and after having done it gave me some real NXT Kevin Owens flashbacks and made me wonder if he is going to win Money in the Bank, if he might be in the process of a heel turn while doing so.
Oh, man. I hope not. Because, like, the funny thing is, you're right to get those flashbacks. I just felt like, though, given everything Kevin Owens has been through with, like, the Nigerian nail and Sammy laughing and everything off, he was just snapping on one particular person. Yeah. He is going to be on Talking Smack tomorrow, so I'm very curious what he's going to say. I wonder if they're replacing Paul Heyman with Pat McAfee, because Pat McAfee's hosting again.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I love Pat, so I can't complain that much.
Yeah,
but,
I was going to say, I wouldn't complain.
Yeah. I just love how Heyman kind of handles that spot, and I love how he kind of appropriates Talking Smack as kind of a propaganda center for, praising the tribal chief and everything. And this match was fucking great, though. And really, I don't know if it's because Kevin Owens is so good at what he does, and Sammy's magnificent about what he does. That's never even a fucking question. Or that I just love last man standing matches more than I thought I did, because I always get worked by these goddamn matches. There were 2 different moments that I thought Sammy really had it won. The first, obviously, being the double table spot, which wouldn't have surprised me because I was telling myself, this is TV. This isn't a pay-per-view, and sometimes they'll do things differently on TV. And, I could see Kevin Owens getting up from it on a pay-per-view. TV, not so much, but he did. And I'm like, holy shit. And Sammy's like, holy shit. And then the haluva kicks. I'll tell you, every time a person rolls out of the ring just to get on their feet, that spot always gets me. Because after the haluva kicks, I'm like, well, that's it. And you know what? It shows how much I love Kevin Owens because Sammy has been fucking impeccable lately. That's undeniable, right? That's not like, I know everybody has an opinion, but on that front, like, that's not even a debate. Okay. But, like, my heart sank a little bit. Because I think, like, I was really rooting for Kevin. Like, I was totally invested in getting worked by this. And then when fucking Kevin pops the fuck off and gets the stunner, and you could see that, like, he's like, no, I have to kill him. He has to die. Like, that's what has to happen here.
He's just like, I've done this to him before. I'm going to do it again. We're taking it back to when I retained the title against him. Ref's decision. We're going powerbomb spam, baby.
And dude, I would be so remiss if I didn't praise Sammy for his role in this, because both of them sell fucking god tier. Sammy, again, his character has been great, but the character, oh my god. I love these two. If you gave these two their own wrestling show, I would watch it religiously. Because Sammy, after having been stunned and clearly knows where this is going, right? He's like, oh god, you might be wondering how I got here. I'm also wondering because I just ate a stunner. Kevin has got him by the beard. And Sammy's like, wait. How did we get here, man?
Kevin grabbing him by the beard was the ultimate, like, asshole puckering moment of this match.
Dude, it was. Now, I know they're both pieces of shit, but I only reference this to make a broader point. When Tommaso Ciampa beat Velveteen Dream at that one TakeOver War Games NXT Championship match, and then he kissed him on the face afterwards because he was unconscious after getting DDT'd on, like, fucking steel grate. And you had said, that's the ultimate sign of, like, owning and dominating an opponent when you can do whatever you want to them. Those are the vibes that I got at this finish here. Because Sammy is begging off. And he's like, wait. How did we get here, man? How did we get here? And, like, can I just say, okay, your pal John, I love what I do. I love joking around with you guys. And can I go a bit too far sometimes and have a bit much of a sense of humor? Absolutely. So because of that, Sammy was a whole ass mood. Because he's like, he could see the comeuppance is coming, and he's just trying to figure out, like, where did I go wrong? And then all Kevin can offer him, all Kevin can say to him is, it's karma. Powerbomb through the table, powerbomb through the announce table specifically, powerbomb through the wooden table, powerbomb on the apron, count in German, count in Spanish, count in whatever language you know. You could probably go through every language because Sammy was not moving.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. He needs to be the next sponsor for Icyhot because that's all he's going to be using on his back for the next 5 weeks. He is fucked.
To my God. The one good thing that we got from Ronda Rousey's entire run with WWE, ice now, heat later, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what, guys? Again, and I tweeted this out, and Ashton, I know you like the tweet, and Javaris might have liked the tweet, I don't remember. But I have been saying, I think I even said on last week's Smackdown TWitWoW, I feel like whoever wins this match is going to win Money in the Bank. And you know something? I'm doubling down not only because I'm me, but genuinely because that finish was so fucking aggressive. I said, oh my God. If Kevin is willing to do that to Sammy, who he did have affection for, and let's remember, this whole feud started because Kevin had the noble intention of wanting to bring Sammy back to his senses. His methodology could be debated. His intention was good. And this is how that ended. What the hell is he going to do to 7 other people to get back to the Universal Championship?
Yep.
Like,
question.
Holy fucking shit. Like, if Kevin, and again, this is why I love the SmackDown field, because you can say, if you're not considering, insert Big E, insert Kevin, in my opinion, insert Cesaro, as like a Money in the Bank winner, really the winner between Nakamura and Corbin's the only one that I am counting out completely on the SmackDown side, personally. And then again, that might surprise me. I don't know. Like, oh my God, because so many people have been thinking, oh, this is going to be Big E's moment. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns aren't done. They took the fucking scenic route, but they're about to find their way back to each other. And you know what? I fucking love it. I fucking love it. Babyface Kevin Owens is fucking life. It is a mood. It is my religion now. I am all about it. Let's fucking go. I mean, granted, John Morrison exists, and that really sucks for Kevin Owens. But if there comes a point in this match where even I know, like, nah, it's over. Jomo ain't got it. I'm switching to, like, fucking Camp KO. I am so fucking ready for this dude to murder people. Again, with the exception of Jomo. But what a match. And really, it is a shame.
I really hope that we get another tower ladder match like that we got that last year. I loved that last year.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're going to do, especially with crowds in attendance. They might just play it straight.
I think they're going to. I think it's just going to be a regular old straight-up ladder match. But, man, that's It's a little depressing to me because I really enjoyed the tower match last year. It was a lot of fun. They both ran at the same time, if I remember correctly, and it was a lot of fun because there was even a brief moment where there was interaction between the women and men where, like, I think Nia Jax assaulted Rey Mysterio or some shit like that. Like, it was cool as hell.
Yeah, that was such an inventive ladder match. One of the better ones the WWE has done. But yeah, I think they're going to play it straight.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing that a classic ladder match this year is going to be able to one-up the tower match from last year.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. But you know what? They're making a hell of an effort, man, with this fucking field. Holy shit.
Yeah, the men's field specifically is really strong this year, for sure.
Yeah.
And even more specifically, the SmackDown side of it is insane.
Yeah, dude. Oh, my God. The SmackDown side of this fucking field. Jesus Christ. All right. That last man standing match was fucking stellar. Sammy and Kevin both promoted it beautifully, and they had faith in themselves, as they fucking should. Then we get an Edge interview, and again, I'm all about this dude. He's getting his title match at the right time. I'm money in the bank, man. I'll tell you guys, right now, my hype scale, we always do 1 to 10 preview predictions, it's at a 9, maybe 9.5. And depending on how good the go-home show is, at least for SmackDown, because, you know, I don't fuck with Raw. We fuck with Among Us on Monday nights. It might just be a full-blown 10, because I am loving, especially the SmackDown side of the card. So Edge pretty much says, like, hey, look, I know it's a trap, but I'm sick of Roman Reigns' crap. I'm sick of the crap from his whole family. So I'm going to go. I'm going to handle it. Like, Edge, he's in the zone right now. He's not sweating anything. So, you know, that's for him. Then we get Corbin and Boogs backstage. As somebody who's trolling, I do admire when you put your back into it. How did you feel about Boogs trolling Corbin here?
I gotta tell you, I was kind of mixed about it because it felt very heelish for Boogs, and it made Corbin, again, they're trying to make Corbin sympathetic, and I just don't like that. I am just not a fan of this whole, like, dastardly heel who spent the last year and a half harassing everyone around him and making everyone's lives miserable, but all of a sudden he loses a few matches and he loses, you know, one bit of property that he basically made into his own identity, and now all of a sudden we're supposed to feel bad for him. Like, no, I hate it. I fucking hate that exact thing. And it feels like they're trying even harder to do it, and I just am like, if I had a heat of the night tonight, it would be that. But I will say, Boogs' delivery was pretty great here.
King me. I was like, God damn it.
Dude, I knew he was going to say that. Just as soon as he mentioned checkers, I was like, oh God, king me. And it's also really fun to imagine Boogs and Nakamura playing checkers.
Oh, absolutely. And then Corbin not having any sense of self-awareness. You think it's funny kicking a person while he's down? Screw you, man. Oh, wow, Baron. Wow, Baron. Just searing to the soul, I'll tell you.
I mean, maybe the whole happy Corbin thing is going to be like the way that they continue to like knock him down, because he gave Gable the Shorty G name. So like maybe it's like karmic justice, as Sammy would say, that somebody else would make Corbin feel small by giving him a new name.
Yeah. Oh, God. It just keeps getting worse for you, Corbin. Jesus.
I mean, maybe you should consider sucking less.
Oh, God, right in the ear in the good way. Oh, yeah.
What are you going to do when I start using my headset with the actual microphone up next to my mouth?
Shiver on the inside.
Not out,
but, beg pardon?
Not outside, though?
Oh, there'll be outside moments. Rest assured. All right.
Shivering outside moments?
We get Sonya Deville again announcing another competitor, Zelina Vega. How do we feel about it?
Holy shit, before we get to this, there was the funniest shit in the chat, in the Discord, it was in the Discord. Someone said, oh, Corbin's down real bad, and I was like, oh yeah, he's down so bad he's looking Adam Cole in the eye.
Do people ever have enough?
Foster brought it up in chat. He was like, you'll never be down as Adam Cole, Baron. Oh,
You know, I can't believe Javaris and I actually have solidarity on sending somebody to their room. Yeah.
Okay, moving on to Zelina Vega being announced to be in Money in the Bank.
Yeah, not taking pot shots at a beautiful man that got unjustly assaulted on Tuesday. How do we feel about Zelina Vega in the ladder match?
I'm pretty excited about it. I'm surprised that she went back after literally tweeting, "I support unionization." I'm surprised they let her back, frankly, after she tweeted that. But here she is. And you always know, I'm a big fan of Zelina Vega. I think she's a great worker in the ring. I'm excited to see more of her, especially what she can do in a ladder match. She has a pretty lucha-centric style for the most part. And yeah, you know, obviously she can talk. She sure cut a more compelling promo tonight than Carmella did last week when Liv started to complain about her not being in it. But then we got another match. And again, Liv won. So Liv is now 2-0 against Money in the Bank competitors.
And again, like, see, preview predictions is going to be a nightmare for me. I reiterate, because I know that one brand, at least in theory, can't win both ladder matches, but I feel like Smackdown is telling the best stories. Beg pardon?
I said, it's happened.
So, you know, in that case, then, relying on that precedent, I might go with 2 SmackDown winners this year. Because I'll tell you, man.
Who won the women's Money in the Bank last year?
That was Asuka, because it had the championship in it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're right. Okay, thank you.
I think before that was Bayley.
Brock.
Which was like a proper Money in the Bank win.
Right. But that was...
So...
was the Bayley year, but it was also the Brock year.
Yes. Yes, unfortunately.
Was Bayley on Raw then, or was that like?
That was SmackDown.
She was still on SmackDown then. Damn. Huh. Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, moving on.
Yeah, I just wanted to say about Liv real quick. I feel like SmackDown is telling the best stories with their field, because you got Kevin Owens that literally had to be the last man standing to even get in this ladder match. And then you have Liv, who isn't formally a part of it, but is winning matches and might prove herself like at the last moment. Now, here's the thing, and I've got to look at all angles. It seems like, oh man, ultimate story for Liv Morgan, qualifies, and then maybe she goes on to win it. But the thing is, a lot of people are speculating that Sasha's going to be the last woman for the SmackDown side. Mm-hmm. And if Sasha's the last woman for the SmackDown side, you have to consider her the favorite to win it, I think. Because I've been saying over and over and over,
dude,
they're gonna.
Do you think there's a chance that Liv won't even be in the Money in the Bank ladder match?
That she might just get denied it altogether,
and then maybe like pick a fight with the winner of it and be like, "Hey, I should have been in it. I beat all these people that were in it, and then I didn't get to be in it," and you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
I'm saying that because I could see another situation where they do another announcement on next week's SmackDown. Now, I don't know who it would be. Maybe it would be Shotzi Blackheart. I don't know. And they do the same thing where Liv gets in the ring and beats the person. But then the following week, it's Sasha. And they do the same thing, except Sasha wins because they actually make that a qualifying match. So Sasha actually wins it then, because it's the whole like, oh, Sasha's going to be in it, but there's only one spot left, and Liv wants to be in it, and she's beaten everyone so far, so the winner of this match is in. And then Sasha fucking wins, and Liv just gets denied completely. I could see that happening for sure.
I could see it too, man. And I'll tell you something else, talking about the Sasha factor, because at first I was watching Liv do this, and I'm like, man, are they really doing like a long-form build for her to win it? Like, what a great babyface story. And then I remembered Sasha exists. And Sasha, you know, because it's WWE, they run back matches that we didn't even find that good the first time. But with the rave reviews that Bianca and Sasha from Mania got, you know their program's far from finished. And here's the thing, too, and Foster pointed this out, and I'm only going to say it because he brought it up, and again, really trying to pick and choose what we say for preview predictions, because July 18th is still a little ways away. A fun fact, with the exception of Asuka last year and Carmella, all of the women cash in on the same night they win it. Bianca and Bayley are doing an I Quit match.
Yeah.
So, like, if Sasha is in this ladder match, I'm telling you right now, bro, do not be surprised if in our preview I say and I expect Sasha to cash in the same night.
Yeah.
On,
yeah,
like, Bianca.
yeah, absolutely. If Sasha's in Money in the Bank, Sasha's walking out of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view as SmackDown Women's Champion.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I could even see them do a thing where Bayley actually manages to beat Bianca somehow. Maybe she does like the cheaty heel, like play Bianca's voice saying I quit from this promo tonight over the loudspeaker, so it seems like she quit even though she didn't actually. And then Bayley wins that way, and then Sasha cashes in on Bayley and wins, and we get a triple threat at SummerSlam.
Ooh, that'd be interesting. Because, yeah, like, I already said that I feel like this, I feel like this I Quit match is going to be like a watershed moment for the Bayley character. It's going to be a moment where the character kind of pivots in a certain direction. What that direction is anybody's guess. I don't claim to know that with any kind of certainty. But it is going to be curious what Bayley does after this. And so that is one theory on the table, and I do like that. So yeah, I just wanted us to talk about Sasha, dude, because to me that is the elephant in the room. Like, we have to acknowledge that her presence is still very much felt in the SmackDown landscape.
Yep.
And yeah, like, but I'll tell you what though, all I can really hope for, because it seems like that briefcase isn't going to go to Liv, because I did remember Sasha, and I'm like, fuck, is that I do like the story they're telling with her, and I hope they don't take their foot off the gas after Money in the Bank's over. Because we have been standing Liv so hard and advocating for her on the show. And you know what? Until she either leaves WWE or she just retires from wrestling altogether or whatever the fuck, I'm going to keep advocating for her, and I know you will too. That is a really great babyface you have on your hands, and somebody that could be a really wonderful women's champion, even if it was for a brief reign like babyfaces traditionally have. So I'm rooting for her big time, and it was a fun match with Zelina. And I like that she's a babyface dude that isn't a fucking Puritan who's like, oh, you grab my tights, I'm gonna grab your tights. Oh, except the difference is I did it better than you did because I got away with it. So great stuff. After this, we get Seth Rollins backstage. Dude, you already saw my tweet. I know because you liked it, and I think Javaris liked it too. Seth on Talking Smack last week, where he's just losing his goddamn shit about Edge getting the match that he thought he was owed. I watched it so many times, and it was funnier each time. And then he comes in the office here, and he's like running down his accolades, saying what his name is, all this stuff, and they're like, oh, we know who you are. Oh, well, that's funny. I thought you guys forgot about me when you gave Edge my Universal title. And then he flips the switch, and I'm like, oh, okay. Because I'm like, wow, he's taking this really well. And no, he just feels like he should get this. And then they said, no, we didn't promise you anything. We said we take it under advisement, and it's Edge. And so, yeah, fuck you, we're doing it.
Yes, the diagnosis is face no longer on head. The cause is tilting.
I really just thought we were going to leave it at diagnosis face. And I'm going to be like, yeah, well, Edge's face is more memeable than Seth's, I think, by that much. So it makes sense.
No, he literally tilted his own face off.
Yeah. Goddamn. So then we get to the Money in the Bank, like, qualifier announcement, like in the office. You'll still get your chance. You can win the Money in the Bank ladder match, which you can get in if you beat Cesaro next week. Seth laughs about it and he walks off. I think Cesaro's winning next week, because here's the thing. And if Cesaro wins, I just reiterate for everybody, I'm prepping you guys for when I hem and haw for 10 minutes and Ashton's going to want to kill me. If Cesaro does qualify, I'm fucked. Because, like, so many primo baby faces to win that baby, because I do think a babyface is winning the men's. I will go that far. At least right now.
You're already giving it away. Wow.
Yeah, like, I don't know. That could change. I'm very tentative in that. I'm tentative in my butthole about a lot going on with Money in the Bank.
It's kind of implied that Drew and Kevin are the two with the best odds.
Yeah, well, again, we'll talk about it when the time is right. But here's the thing. Not only do I think it's just proper that, like, Cesaro get this opportunity, because I don't think they've completely cooled him down. I know a lot of people immediately jumped to that when he lost to Hell in a Cell, and I'm like, well, no, because if you look at the way that he lost, it does protect him in a way because he got caught. More importantly, because I fully believe in the idea of Seth and Edge being like booked for SummerSlam. You want Seth to just be desperate and, like, deliriously angry. And if he loses his qualifying, you know what his first thought is? It's not going to be, I lost. And it's not going to be whatever about Cesaro, because like he's looking past Cesaro because he said, I've never been more ready mentally, physically, spiritually to be Universal Champion. He's going to be thinking, and of course he won't say it because it's PG, but like that fucking Edge.
Yeah.
If he didn't take my title match, I wouldn't have had to do this. I said I was ready to be Universal Champion. I didn't say that I was ready spiritually for a goddamn ladder match. And so he's going to pin it on Edge. I'm telling you guys, Cesaro's winning next week because that is going to make Seth snap, and it may be potentially why he screws Edge and Money in the Bank. And I say potentially because I don't know if they're going to write that finish. But I do know that Seth and Edge are on a collision course. They have to be. Yeah. So you free that up. You give Cesaro the ladder match. You make it even more unpredictable, leaving John in a position where he just wants to recede into his own anus. And, yeah, you've got just a quality matchup for SummerSlam. Seth Rollins and Edge.
Let me ask you this, John, because I'm well aware of the fact that you probably don't think it's going to happen. But even if you only see it as a 0.1% chance of happening, if Edge beats Roman for the Universal Championship, do you think that we get a triple threat Edge, Roman, Seth at SummerSlam?
If that happens, I could say it. Dude, they're going to want to load these cards out.
Yeah. I'm still convinced that we're getting Roman Cena.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. But, dude, I love how SmackDown has, like, done their part for the men's ladder match. I'm all about it. And, again, even with Nakamura Corbin, I still would take that over giving guys that already lost qualifying matches another chance to qualify.
Yeah. Well, dude, it's almost like they're kind of covering their own, how do I put this? They're covering their own weakness, because if you think about it, like Raw doesn't really have that big of like a believable main eventer division. Like even Jomo and Miz not anymore because he's fucking out and on a wheelchair and stuff. So Jomo specifically feels out of place among the other dudes that won their qualifying matches. Like he feels more like an undercarder compared to all of them. Whereas with SmackDown, we've been talking about this for months. SmackDown's main event is stacked as fuck, right? Like, it's so easy for them. They have a big enough roster to be able to afford all these individual, specialized, awesome qualification matches. But if you look at the women's division, Raw's women's division is a little stronger. They have more women. They have more usable women because there are fewer women that are like, because, just a few months ago, Natty and Tamina were technically a part of SmackDown's roster. But now, because they are the women's tag team champions, they're not eligible for Money in the Bank. So they're not even going to be able to try to get into it. So that takes 2 women away from both brands. But when you have 12 women on one brand and 7 or 8 on the other, and you take 2 of those away, one brand still has 10. You can work with that. The other brand is down to like 5. Like, you're pretty well fucked at that point. So I think that it really is just a matter of like Raw had to find a way to kind of jerry-rig a way to get 4 qualified men in, and SmackDown had to kind of do the same thing for the women, Yeah.
God, there's so much I want to say about what you said, particularly about the men's ladder match setup on Raw, but I'm going to save that. I'm going to try and save something worthwhile for the Monday Night Pay-Per-View. I'm just so jazzed up from the show, and I'm so jazzed up to get to that pay-per-view, especially, dude, because then we've already said this before, but with Peacock really working its stuff out, we can just enjoy Money in the Bank in peace. Oh. I am so fucking ready. I am so fucking ready. So just trying to keep it together, because I know, content matters here too. So, yeah. That's happening.
Genuinely, though, I would really love for you to just kind of comment on what you wanted to out of what I said without giving anything away.
Well, I would just say that it's funny you singled out Jomo specifically because the Raw field is so weird because it's Jomo, Ricochet, who I would say is still beneath
You're
Jomo.
right about Ricochet. Well, dude, that's almost further proof of my point, though, because Ricochet feels even more out of sorts than even Jomo, and Jomo feels out of sorts. And then the other 2 guys, if I remember correctly, are Riddle and McIntyre, right?
Yeah.
Right, so I'm sure, like, I feel like WWE wishes that they would have just put Randy Orton and AJ Styles both in it instead of Morrison and Ricochet, just to really have that main event feel. I bet they fucking wish Keith Lee was back so they could have put him in it so they could have the main event feel. Like, I'm like, yeah, I think Ricochet, I don't know how the hell Ricochet managed to get into this. Who did he beat to win? Did he beat AJ?
He might have, yeah, because it was a last chance thing in that triple threat. So, yeah, I think he did beat AJ. Because Morrison beat Orton and Riddle beat McIntyre. So, yeah, Ricochet beat fucking AJ.
Oh, my God. I mean, size-wise, it makes sense. It's like the smallest guy is the most likely guy to take an L to an underdog. And, yeah, I guess Ricochet just kind of got lucky. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they would have done that with, like, a Mansoor, given, like, he's brand new and he's even bigger than Ricochet, and he's kind of got the whole mentor thing going on with Ali and everything. Like, shit, man. Don't think Riddle won the match for Orton. I'm pretty sure Drew won that match.
Yeah, he did, because Riddle got the RKO on AJ. And then,
the only match that Riddle won was the right to be in the match to try and get into Money in the Bank, which he didn't win. AJ or Drew won that.
Right, exactly, yeah. So really all I want to say about the Raw side, just in responding to what you said, like, I liked what Raw was doing at first, and then they get, like, the clear, far and away main eventer in there, and I'm like, oh, because I thought it was going to be pure undercarders that have, like, never been world champion in WWE, and I'm like, man, that's clever, because SmackDown isn't exactly I mean, they're kind of flexing that energy, because I know Big E hasn't, and Nakamura hasn't, or Corbin if he were to win. Cesaro hasn't, and again, I'm expecting him to win. KO is the only former world champion in their field if it goes the way that I'm expecting it to. So, yeah, that's another reason why I like the men's, because, like, only one guy in there, actually two, McIntyre and Kevin Owens out of 8. That leaves 6 guys that have never been world champion. That's not the worst ratio you can have, bro. I really like that. I think they did really well with the men's this year. Women's, again, like you said, Raw, I think definitely compensated. Even if I don't like all the people in Raw, I hate that Alexa's in it, and I'm so scared that she's in it. But again, that's Raw. We don't watch Raw. We'll discuss all that for preview predictions. Moving on, Otis versus Dawkins. And Ash and I both agree that Otis with this look, not only is it Majin Otis, because I know that's our thing, Javaris, but also, if you want to get in more human terms, John Goodman. Yeah. John Goodman, 100%.
Very John Goodman. And specifically, like, pre-weight loss, super big John Goodman.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, wow, Otis. He's dominant, dude. Like,
Dude, really, do you know what other name that I keep going back to seeing him wrestle now?
What's that?
Fucking Vader. He's literally Vader.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
He even wins with the Vader bomb.
Yeah.
Put a match on this fucker.
Yeah. Far better, by the way, than fucking Swagger's Vader bomb ass. Otis is stacked, man. Like, what's so comforting to me about this is that this has proven to me now that Otis can do it all. He can be like the Dusty Rhodes, and yeah, I said Dusty Rhodes because, like, I feel like he has that charisma and that magnetism, level babyface, or he could be the Vader monster heel.
Yep.
And then my only question is, you've got a guy that can play both sides of the fence well. I'm curious how much you'll agree or disagree with my statement when I yield the reins to you here in a few moments. So you've got a guy that can play both sides of the ball, so to speak. When are we going to start making fucking money with this dude? Yeah. Like in the main event and really pushing this dude? Because I'm sorry, guys, I am a pain in the ass. I will own that. 3 ways to fucking Sunday. They should have done Otis Reigns, even if they would have done it on SmackDown TV. I want to see Otis against a main event caliber talent. And the thing is, and I'll even use this to get another point in that I've wanted to be getting in about Roman specifically. Roman is the type of champion where you do mid-card experiments because he makes everybody look good. Like, everybody. So this is the guy that you take because it's like, okay, this is a mid-carder we've been thinking could be a main event guy. Let's put him in there with Roman because they won't look like utter shit, but let's see how much they can do on their own. And then at worst, they'll just look okay because Roman can carry. And I really wanted them to do Otis Roman because even if Otis would have shit the bed, which I don't think would have happened, because I have a lot of confidence in Otis, especially after seeing his heel work recently, I'm just like, man, you were in a time of a pandemic, economic losses, although it's kind of strange how many think pieces I'm seeing about how the economy is getting ready to roar. And then my first thought is, well, for who, right?
Dude, and right? It's the K-shaped recovery, right?
Exactly. So you're living in a milieu that's like horrible for people like us, whether you're working class, permanently disabled, pretty much on the periphery of society. And you've got a fucking guy whose theme music before this, and by the way, the Alpha Academy theme did drop today, and it's low-key fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when he was a babyface, the first words in his theme are,
man.
I was going to do the voice, but you beat me to it. And yeah, like, I don't know how you do not jump on that. Especially when, and look, you and I are smart guys, even if we don't like it, we know what our audience is. WWE is more of a conservative company. You would think that they would want to play to the blue-collar worker that voted Trump because he promised to protect steel-working jobs and factory jobs, right? That's who Otis represents to me. The factory job that, like, isn't coming back. But he represents, of course, like, that babyface optimism that we keep on trucking. And now as a heel, he's a fucking killer. He murders people. And it's believable. And the thing is, too, like, it's a believable monster without any supernatural gimmicks, without any, like, racial insensitivities, potentially. Because, Umaga, I don't think that gimmick personally was insensitive, but you would have to ask somebody more from that region. They'd be more qualified than I would be. No, it's just a guy under the tutelage of a fucking Olympian. It's like, hey, you know what? I'm a pretty big dude. Be a shame if I actually knew how to use it. And he did learn how to use it, and everybody's suffering for it.
And it's literally when the Big Show was heel. I'm a giant. Who can stop me?
Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, I fucking love Otis. Yeah. And I don't know how this whole thing is going to end, but I'm telling you, let me look something up here. So I like to get my facts in fucking order when I'm talking my shit. Otis is 29 years old.
Yep.
We have time, bruh.
Yep.
Get this dude in the fucking main event. If this John Goodman looking ass is not a fucking world champion, you gave Momo 4 years on Stardom Day because you'd be 25. WWE, he'd be 33. Right? That's not bad for a world champion in WWE. If he's not at least challenging for a world title, if he hasn't had his first world title match 4 years from now, at any point, what the fuck are you doing? This dude can do it all now. I'm convinced. He's a compelling heel. He was a great babyface. I think underappreciated by management. He can play both sides of the ball. What are you doing? I'm done talking. Is there anything you want to add to, like, anything I said here?
No. Move on.
All right. Fair enough. So after that, by the way, he squashed fucking Dawkins.
Yeah, he did. Dude, I'm telling you, the absolute, like, surgical precision that he beat Dawkins with was concerning. Like, if I'm Roman, I'm looking at that like, shit, I hope he doesn't set his sights on me. God damn.
Yeah, if I'm Roman, I'm like, man, I'm so glad I'm not you right now. And, like, fuck, man, he squashed him like a pancake, baby. Like a pancake. Yeah, we're bringing foods back. It's happening. So Jimmy Uso and Paul Heyman are in Gorilla. Probably, again, also thankful that Otis isn't mad at them. And Jimmy Uso, he's talking his shit. And he's like, I'm gonna handle Edge, whatever. I got Roman like I know Roman's got me. Does he? Does it? Like, how quickly we forget our own history. And Heyman, he's like, listen, he's the tribal chief. Everything he does with the family. I feel like now I need to watch back what Heyman said, because I almost feel like he was prepping Jimmy like, hey, I know you have a certain vision for how this is going to go down. And I want you to know, I respect your experience. But it's not going to end well for you. And he sends Jimmy to the fucking slaughter. He does the whole high five thing. Jimmy comes out. He calls out Edge. Edge is like, Jimmy, what happened to you? Don't you understand what's happening here? Roman is using you. Same way he used Jay. Used Jay up. He beat him down. Now he's doing the same to you. What happened, huh? What happened to nobody's bitch? And now you're just another one of Roman's bitches. Except the only problem is, this isn't a trap for me. It's a trap for you. How do we feel about how Edge flexed on Jimmy Uso here?
I mean, dude, here's the thing. He was absolutely right in the sense that, like, Roman left him the fuck out to dry. Like, Edge beat his ass. And Jimmy, earlier in the night, I specifically remember this kid saying, I got his back just like he got mine. What was that about him having your back? Because he sure as hell didn't tonight.
Oh my god.
You sound like you are about to die from laughing too hard.
Dude, it was amazing. I'm sorry. It was amazing. I'm a horrible person, but I'm looking at this and I'm like, talk shit, get hit. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what Jimmy Uso's energy has been since he's been back. Just remind me again, was he the one that squared up with a cop? Because if that's the case, this all makes so much more sense.
With a cop. I probably think, actually.
Yeah, it makes so much more sense now. If he was the one that squared up with a cop, it really is no wonder. He talks this shit to everybody. He comes back. I'm not Roman's bitch. Fast forward a little bit. Yo, I got you, Oos. I don't even need him here. Like, dude, learn. I am begging you to learn. I mean, I respect the fuck out of you. Again, if you were the one that squared up with a cop, like, we're A-cab in this house, right? Yeah. But, like, Roman Reigns ain't no cop. Edge ain't no cop, which is another way to say they ain't no bitch, all right? And Edge is just looking at you, and he's like, you poor, dumb fucking lamb that I am about to slaughter. And slaughter does he ever. Because, my God, he beats the bejesus out of him.
Slaughter!
Dude, it's so funny that you quote that because no fucking lie, I have watched that clip 5 times recently. Amazing. Like, are you living in my head?
Was
Don't
that
answer
the,
that.
Was that the perfect level scene?
Yeah, that was the true level bit. That was the true level bit. Yeah. Oh God, yeah, true level, bitch. And I feel like that was Edge's energy here.
Yeah,
because he gets Jimmy in that exact same crossface, piece of the chair and the mouth, and he's torquing on it, and Edge's face. Him and Kevin Owens, man, if they're both aggro at each other, I would pay to see that shit. Holy fuck, his face. He's cranking on that hold. Jimmy's tapping out, and with each tap, he's just reconsidering every life choice that brought him here. And then Edge, when he lets go, he just, again, feels that intensity, and he more or less asserts again that, like, I'm going to be Universal Champion. And Roman has been so goddamn untouchable, but, like, Edge scares me. So, like, I kind of believe him. I am afraid of Canadians now. Because Kevin Owens, I'm not fucking with him. And Edge, I'm not fucking with him. You can all have it, all right? I talk a lot of shit on this podcast. Always from a social distance. Before it was cool. Nah, I ain't even risking it. Fuck you. I ain't even risking it. No, Edge, you can have it. You can have it. He beat the shit out of this dude. Like, Jimmy Uso was probably a stand-in for me. That's going to be me one day. Because I know my mouth writes fucking checks. And goddamn did his ever bounce. Shit. Fuck, man. All right, well, that was that. I saw a man beat the living hell out of another man and just practically beg anybody to challenge him about it. And nobody did. And I feel like there's a metaphor in there somewhere, but I'm too terrified to find it. So we're going to move on now to our next segment, high spots and low shots. And, so many great low shots and high spots to choose from this week. I think you and I will both have an easy time. I'm going to say, though, that my low shot is Sami Zayn. It really seemed like he was on an upward trajectory. It seemed like Karmic Justice was on his side. And then Karma be like, no. And, he lost.
Poor Sami.
He lost that last man standing match, but he still won all of our hearts. And I think that matters more in the end. I say tentatively, unsure of my own answer. Who is your low shot?
That's pretty easy. My low shot is Corbin, Baron Corbin, because he's no longer a king. He took a fat L today to Big E's big ending because he was distracted by his own vehicle getting towed. And then he got dunked on by Rick Boogs later on in the night. So just eating all the L's in the same show is King Corbin, or Baron Corbin. I got to get used to not calling him king anymore.
You know what? Since neither one of us said it, I'll say honorary low shot, Jimmy Uso.
Yeah.
In the words of the song that I don't think I've ever listened to in full, sit down and be humble, sir. Like you
never listened to Humble in full. Wow, we've got to make that we've got to amend that. We've got to fix that.
Yeah, we will. But yeah, like you talked so much shit, bruh. How did it taste? But yeah.
I mean, how did it taste to get hit? Because he talk shit, get hit. That's the saying, right?
Yeah. It
you got more ass fucking beat.
Yeah, he got his ass beat. You're damn right. High spot again. So many great choices to pick from. I gotta go, my boy Kevin Owens. I love this. I loved seeing him snap, and I don't even mean that in like a scumbag way. I mean genuinely, like it should be okay for babyfaces to be intense and like that aggressive to get the job done. And I love too that final line. It was pure cinema. How did we get here, man? Karma. Oh my God! Murdered him. Qualifies,
well,
and he's.
You know what? You made my high spot real easy.
Say it.
Edge. Promo of the year.
There it is.
Beat the fuck out of Jimmy Uso. I don't know where Jay is, but he didn't have Jimmy's back. I don't know where Roman is, but he also didn't have Jimmy's back. Nobody had Jimmy's back. Jimmy just got fucked up real bad. And it's one of those things, too, where, like, Jimmy really had that energy of, like, oh, man, main event Jimmy Uso about to happen. If my brother, he and I are the exact same, no reason I can't do it. And he got turned around real fast on that mindset.
I love how you imitate the hopes of others before they go to die. Main event, Jimmy Uso about to happen. Bro, you sound like a kid on his first day of college thinking, man, this is the first day of the rest of my life. And then they go back to their dorm thinking, oh my God, this is the first day of the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like complete 180 in inflection.
I mean, that's literally Jimmy's energy tonight. That's spot on.
That's my response to that.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that.
It happened. Yeah. So this was amazing. I feel really great about everything we just did. How do you feel about everything we just did?
I feel pretty good. This was a really good episode of Smackdown, and we had a really fun time talking about it.
You know, only because I feel like I haven't said it, at least for this recording. You may be feeling pretty good, but your face is perpetually goddamn exceptional. Wow. I just wanted to let you know that.
Well, thank you so much. Wow.
Yeah, you're welcome. Foster. What's a shame, Foster, is I've seen those posts too. We love you so much, man. You are such a beautiful person. We'll talk. Oh God, Javaris. Jimmy was so this is going to be a breeze. Oh God. Gonna need Febreze for that fucking corpse to get the stench out. Fuck. So yeah, I don't know if I'm done turning up, but I probably should be. So we're gonna wrap this up, guys. This has been Smackdown.
I only disagree because you're being fucking hilarious. So
I appreciate it, sir. This has been Smackdown. This has been TWitWoW. And you know what? Fuck it. For one night, just because I love the show, the best. Oh yeah. Wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to like the video as you file out. The more likes you leave, the more likely we are to be the top search result for SmackDown reviews on YouTube. And when you're the best at what you do, and oh man, I look to my left, and oh man, I look to my right, and ain't nobody touching what we do, baby. The top is the only place that you belong, so please do your part. Leave that like and help us insert dominance right into YouTube's algorithm. Is that a euphemism? You decide. Be sure to subscribe. Click the bell icon for notifications so you never again miss any of that TWitWoW goodness that I know when you miss it fills you with that existential dread. No more! If you just subscribe and click that bell icon, all your problems.
Wow, you're really going Mick Foley on us?
Yeah, you're damn right.
Jesus.
So yeah, you know what to do on that part. You also know what I'm going to say next. This description box with all of these beautiful, sexy blue links here. You should check all of them out, but I'm going to emphasize, like only my voice can, the Patreon, because first of all, if you donate one George Washington, $1, you get additional Q&A questions, that one video where you can ask us anything you want, where, like Jake Roberts once said about his promos, you can control our tempo. You can bring us on the highest of highs or the lowest of lows with your questions if you want to get down in the political dirt. $1 $1, you get 5 bullets in the chamber instead of 3. And now Q&A this month, it's July 29th. You have just a little shy of 4 weeks to think of questions, to submit questions, and if you're on the fence, because maybe your mind is gushing with questions, oh man, I need Ashton's football acumen because he's so big-brained and excellent in his analysis, I need it. Or maybe one of you, which would bring a tear of just sheer happiness to my eye, says, oh man, I'm taking a philosophy course for the first time ever. I better enlist the nerd, John, and I better ask him questions. You can do it. You can do all of it. You just donate $1 and you get the 5 questions. You know you want to do it. You know you want to. Don't fight the feeling. Take it from somebody that has an impulse control disorder that's probably sent him back 5 years. The greatest way to get rid of an itch is to yield to it. Do it! Donate. But while you're donating, don't just stop there. Don't just stop there. Because you know we're doing amazing things here. We are literally saving the earth, one recording at a time, by rehabilitating the wrestling industry, by making it suck less with our top tier analysis. So you know what you should do for that? You should take that $1 and you should up to $3. You know what $3 gets you? Not only does it get you the additional Q&A questions, but because we are just so incredible, you get access to the TWitWoW Discord. Now, I will admit, I will cop to the fact that my presence on that Discord is not what it should be. I'm slowly working on remedying that. You all are beautiful people. I should spend more time because there are beautiful people in that Discord. The best people you'll ever hope to meet. We have a great time. We talk about all sorts of shit. And we play Among Us Mondays. Do you know that it's getting an update this month? Event cleaning task. Event cleaning task. If you ever want to just tell an imposter, hey, fuck you. You clean that event, they can't use it. You know what that does to them? That corners them. You know what that does to our server? Makes it a fucking gas. Great time. Oh my God. You should hear our spirited defenses. You should see how we kill. You should see how we do this fucking game. We do it like nobody else. You want to be a part of it. $3, TWitWoW Discord, Among Us Mondays. Good shit. Top tier shit. Get on it. Now, for the Twitters, at Ashton_TwitWoW. This guy has it on lock. Great Twitter. Doesn't usually tweet very often, but when he does, it's can't miss. And his pinned tweet is the TWitWoW schedule. But before I get to that, I kind of did it out of order. I'm so hopped up on my own bullshit, I apologize. I am at John_TwitWoW. My pinned tweet is to collect Q&A questions. So when you're thinking, oh my God, John sold me really hard there. I don't know what I need to do. I mean, I have questions, but where do I put them now? I have a full load of questions. What do I do? Shh. It's okay. It's okay. You just reply to my pinned tweet, and we will see all of them. We will love all of them equally. I mean, okay, maybe that's not necessarily true. Maybe some questions will be better than others, but we will answer them all, which is practically like loving them all equally. So just reply to my pinned tweet, and it's taken care of. It's good. You're good. We're all good. Now, Ashton's pinned tweet, because he is the consummate fucking pro that works so hard on all of this, because his face is just as beautiful as the day is long, which everything I've just said is a fact, because I know the difference between fact and opinion, unlike U.S. politicians, but that's a separate point. His pinned tweet is the TWitWoW schedule for the month. Now, granted, we are in July now, and he hasn't gotten the July schedule up, but here's the thing. The first 3 days of July are on the June schedule, so he still doesn't miss, like his face does. And so I can say, July 2nd, right? We just did the whole Smackdown review. I don't even need the July schedule to tell you what's coming tomorrow because I already know. Stardom, June 27th show, the best wrestling promotion on God's green earth today. Their June 27th show fully up. We will be live reacting to it at 7 p.m. Eastern time because nobody has their finger on the pulse of Stardom like we do. There are people that review Stardom shows, but we react to them. We talk about Stardom. We promote Stardom. We hustle for Stardom. Bigger and better than any other channel on the web today. So you can expect our coverage, which is the best coverage out there, at 7 p.m. Eastern time for their June 27th show. And then Sunday is our day of rest because even more courses like us, of the most top-tier caliber, need it. So we will see you Saturday at 7. We will knock it out of the park like we always do. We hope you join us, not just for us, but for Stardom, because it deserves all the support in the world. And then when we run this shit back with WWE, with NXT on Tuesday, with Smackdown on Friday again, as we barrel closer to Money in the Bank, one thing is for certain, while everybody else is climbing that ladder, we've been sitting on top of it for years, son. And we'll be talking about it just with the greatest of ease. So join us tomorrow at 7. Join us next week for everything we've got as we get further into July, and Ashton will have that schedule up. And until then, oh, and by the way, Monday we'll be doing a TWitWoW request. Forgot to mention that as well. Mark has requested Backlash 2004. If you want to see how you can get your own TWitWoW request, please look at the Patreon. But until then, my friends, see you at 7 p.m. for Stardom Live reactions. We will be there with bells on because there's nothing like it. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. I had so much fun tonight. Thank you for being a part of it. Until then, tune in and peace out.